need every opportunity to win that backup role because it would be the cheapest alternative. Those guys are going to work dirt cheap on entry-level contracts as opposed to having to sign a free agent. Even somebody like our friend of the Puck podcast, Jason LaBarbera, signed a $1 million deal to be the backup in Phoenix. If they can cut that down to $550,000 or $600,000 for one of the rookies, I'm sure that would be what they'd prefer to do.
Right. Well, now I want to hear some of the cynicism of Doug Stolhand, getting away from the optimism. Who do you feel has been the biggest disappointment as a team this season?
Well, there's a lot of candidates for that, and I would say the Columbus Blue Jackets are right up there. The St. Louis Blues are right up there, and Boston Bruins. I think right now it's a three-way race between those three, and I would honestly, my optimism going into the year was in St. Louis because I thought off the run they had and getting back Eric Johnson, Paul Kariya, all the players that they were getting back from injuries the year before, I thought they'd be a contender in the Central Division and one of the real strong teams in the West. It has been the exact opposite. Boston is the same thing. What a complete disappointment that season's been. Everything went right for them a year ago. Nothing is going right for them this year. They can't score. They're not getting good goaltending from Tim Thomas. It's just been a disaster from day one in Boston. But truly, the biggest disappointment has to be the Edmonton Oilers. They are just hot garbage up there right now. They are a disaster on the ice. It's just unbelievably bad. 3 wins total since December 15th, and a current 11-game winning or losing streak on the road. I mean, there's no excuse. I know that they lost their goalie, their best forward, and their best defenseman, all to injury at the same time. That being said, as you know in St. Louis, that did not stop the Blues from making a playoff run last year, losing quality players on all three in net, on defense, and on forwards. There's no excuse for only having 3 wins in almost 2 months of hockey. That is just embarrassing. And for a franchise and a fan base that is as proud as Edmonton is, it's absolutely unacceptable this season, and they've got to be the biggest disappointment in the league.
And, well, who do you feel has been the biggest surprise? I mean, obviously, I feel the Phoenix Coyotes have had quite the run this year, but who would you say has been the biggest surprise?
I think without a doubt Phoenix. I think before the season, if I remember correctly, my own words, I said that if everything I know about hockey is wrong, then the Coyotes will make a run at the playoffs.
Yep,
and
you
here
could say
they
that.
are at the 4th seed in the West, and the West is incredibly deep and talented, and they're making a run. It's just unbelievable what Dave Tippett and his staff have been able to do. Remember, they got hired at the last minute. They didn't even get the benefit of training camp to put in their systems, to get familiar with the players, the line combinations, any of that. They signed Robert Lang at the last minute and add him. They're going with Ilya Brizgalov and Jason LaBarbera in net, and anybody that looked at that roster would never think this team is going to be real tough to beat. This team's going to be a team that is dominant on home ice, and yet they are doing exactly that. They're winning games. They've got confidence now. By far, not only the biggest surprise this season, one of the biggest surprises I can remember in sports, of just a team that had absolutely everything going against it. It really is like a movie where the owner doesn't want you to be there, the fans aren't showing up, the league doesn't want you, everybody's making fun of you, and despite all of that, and a lack of talent, really, if you look at them compared to the top teams in the West, where are the big names? This is a team that's doing it collectively. It's a huge surprise and a great story, and I hope it continues the rest of the season, because that's a franchise that really needs something to build around and a reason to feel good.
Yeah, I've been half expecting Charlie Sheen and Tom Berenger to come out of nowhere and be playing for this team.
No kidding. Absolutely right, because you wonder if there's not a cardboard cutout of a female owner in there that they get to take a piece off of every time they win a game.
Well, the Puck Podcast is recorded every Saturday, and you can find it on puckpodcast.com or by downloading it for free on iTunes. You can also check out the Puck Podcast group page on Facebook or follow it on Twitter. Doug, I want to thank you for your time. It's always been a pleasure talking with you, and I wish only the best of luck to the Puck Podcast in the following years.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, for having me on and for your support and plugging the show, and best of luck with your own show and life in the Midwest.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Doug, and thanks for listening. This is Jeff Ponder of NHL Hockey Online.